Let me introduce you to three people. This is Mark, this is Chris, this is Daniel. Quick test, no scrolling back. What was the second name? If it's already gone, that's not a bad memory. It's not carelessness, and it's definitely not a sign you didn't care. There's something specific happening in your brain in that exact moment, and once you see what it is, you stop taking it personally. Maybe this is the third time you've met the same person, and it's still gone. So you do the thing everyone does. You avoid saying it at all. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, man. You nod a lot. You get unusually interested in whatever's on the table between you, anything to avoid the moment where you'd have to actually say their name out loud and prove you never had it. Start with this: a name doesn't actually tell your brain anything on its own. If someone tells you a stranger's job is baker, your mind quietly fills in flour, ovens, early mornings, the smell of bread. Tell your brain that same stranger's last name happens to be Baker, and none of that shows up. Same word, completely different result, because one version connects to something real and the other just sits there, alone, with nothing attached to it. Names work like the second version. Kevin doesn't mean anything until you decide it does. Now add the moment you're actually meeting someone. Your brain is reading their face, catching their tone, working out whether you like them, whether they like you, and quietly running its own performance review on how you're coming across. Somewhere in the middle of all that, a single sound gets handed to you exactly once, completely unfamiliar, and you're already too busy to properly catch it. And most of the time, you're not even fully listening in the way you think you are. Part of you is already rehearsing what you're about to say back, whether that was a weird thing to say, whether the handshake lasted too long. By the time they finish saying, "Hi, I'm Daniel," you're already two sentences into your own reply in your head. You heard the name, you just weren't fully present for it because you were already one step ahead of the conversation instead of inside it. Your brain also has a completely separate system just for recognizing faces, one that runs automatically whether you try or not. That's why you can walk past someone in a grocery store 2 years later and instantly know you know them while their name stays completely blank. Faces come with a built in shortcut, names don't. Here's the part worth noticing about yourself instead. You almost certainly remember their face. You remember what they were wearing, the joke they made, the story they told about their weekend. Your brain didn't fail, it chose. It kept the parts that felt like something and let go of the one part that arrived with nothing attached. That's not a worse kind of memory, it's just aimed somewhere else. And it goes both ways. Some people are the opposite. They'll forget your job, forget what you talked about for 20 minutes, but get your name right without even trying. That doesn't mean they care more than you do. It just means their attention happened to land on the label instead of the story. Neither version is the more thoughtful one. It's worth saying, too, that the person on the other end usually isn't keeping score the way you'd expect. Having your name forgotten stings a little, sure, but almost everyone has stood exactly where you're standing mid introduction, quietly hoping someone else says the name first. Think about the last time someone read out a phone number and you didn't write it down. You heard every digit clearly. 10 seconds later, it's gone. Not because you weren't listening, but because nothing held onto it once your attention moved somewhere else. A name lands in your head exactly the same way, unless you actually do something with it on purpose, which is the one part you can actually change. Say it back once, right when you hear it. Attach it to something you already know, a face it reminds you of, a place, anything with a hook already built. And use it again before the conversation ends, because the ending is where it either sticks for good or slides right back out. Maybe you didn't forget the person, maybe your brain just dropped the label and kept everything about them that actually mattered. If this made forgetting someone's name feel a little less like a character flaw, send it to someone who always says they're terrible with names. A-like helps this reach the next person standing there blanking mid-handshake. And if you want more of these, subscribe to The Mind Made Simple. We put out simple psychology videos like this every week.